Ever since I began traveling full-time back in 2019, I always felt like I was on borrowed time, traveling to different places, meeting so many different people, and making friends along the way. It felt like I was living multiple lifetimes within such a short amount of time.
Hey, my name is Mike, and I live on the road. This is a quick tour of my office and how I'm able to work a 9 to 5. The thing that really keeps me on the road are the friends I've made.
But I often ask myself, when would be the day that I stop traveling? Or rather, how could I ever go back to living a normal life again after this? Truth be told, by year 3, life on the road was starting to take its toll.
I gotta admit, living in my SUV for the past 2 years has been a struggle. My fridge takes up so much space. All this stuff made for a really small interior bed that I could barely fit in.
Between outgrowing the GX and becoming burnt out on road life, I knew it was time for a change. Time for a new home. And this is that story.
Someone that makes me feel seasick. Oh, what a skill to have. Oh, what a skill to have. So many skills that make her distinctive. They're not mine to have. No, they're not mine. Whenever she looks, I read the nearest paper. No, I don't care about the soaps. No, I don't care about the soaps. Though I'm acting like I'm in an EastEnders episode. Another song about a gender I'll never understand. If this is a rom-com, kill the director. If this is a rom-com, kill the director. If this is a rom-com, kill the director, please.
So, this is our new home. It's a 99 Tacoma with a 77 Chinook Camper in the back. About 6 years ago, a guy chopped up an old Chinook, extended the frame of this Tacoma 8 inches, and bought the camper in the back. Since then, it's exchanged a couple hands, and now I'm the owner of it. And I've actually had this thing for over a year and a half now. And I've done a whole lot to this rig since. But before I give you a tour of this, let's go back to how I actually found this thing. Finding a new home on wheels is not that straightforward. After having a few years of experience of living on the road, I had a number of requirements. It had to be affordable, could take it off-road, tons of space, reliable, and lastly, it needed to be cool. First up, the minimal setup, or more specifically, truck platform campers. They're lightweight, affordable, and you can build out the inside. But it's still got that soft top that isn't great in wind. They're still pretty small inside, and they're basically like the GX. Which, might I add, I still own, and I don't plan on getting rid of it anytime soon. Alright, so what about the obvious choice? A van. While they're by far the most spacious and livable option, most aren't that off-road capable. They're usually two-wheel drive, and they're honestly quite boring. It's no longer 2018 where van life was a novelty. And what happens when you mix a platform camper and a van? You get sliding campers. They're a good middle ground between the two, but again, they just don't have that cool and unique factor. So you might be watching this offended that I said your rig wasn't cool, but don't get me wrong, cool doesn't always mean practical. Take the 70 series for example. Wildly capable off-road, tons of space, and at least here in the States, very rare, which makes it pretty unique and cool. But they're very expensive here in the States. If it breaks, good luck importing parts in a timely fashion. But for the same amount of money, you could build out a totally custom camper with a brand new truck, but even if I had a casual $250,000 to blow on a rig, I'd be too nervous to drive it around. After a couple months of searching, I honestly gave up. I thought about just saving money and sticking with the GX, or maybe just quitting road life altogether. But one sleepless night, doom scrolling on social media, I found it. It was something I'd never considered, or rather, didn't know existed. It was a little rough around the edges, and the interior was a bit outdated, but it was a platform I know had a ton of potential. So, I quickly packed up my bags, flew halfway across the country to Nebraska, and I was so excited to move into a new rig that would solve all my problems. Well, at least you can appreciate my optimism, but that's not how the story goes. I recently bought this truck camper for $20,000 to live out of full-time, but did I make a mistake? The weather shipping is showing its age, and it does squeak a little bit. The frame was extended 8 inches to fit the camper, and while the fabrication is pretty solid, it is showing a bit of surface rust. On the outside, there's all these ports for electrical, water, and an additional battery, all things I probably won't use. I've mentioned this was rebuilt 5 years ago, but the interior is in need of a second renovation. It still has the original propane heater, water pump, and stove. The dining table is a little bit rocky. The drawers are a little bit hard to close. And it's just showing its age. So yeah, the condition was a bit more rough than I had anticipated. But I bought it fully knowing I'd rebuild the interior in like a year or so. After trying to live out of it for a couple months, I decided to hell with it and started to tear it apart.
Good morning, world, it's a brand new day. I'm packing my bags and I'm putting away. I'm moving my legs and my city time bones. I gotta get away from the busy man's phones. Down a Malibu where the living is so wild and free. If you wanna get happy, then people come along with me. A beep, bow, 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 bow. Roll along, boys, save a place for me. I'm getting so tired of the company. I'm getting black looks from the big white man. I've gotta get away just as fast as I can. Down a Malibu where the living is so wild and free. If you wanna get happy, then people come along with me. A beep, bow, 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 bow. Good morning, freedom. I gotta make a way, gotta make a way, gotta make a way. Yeah, yeah. Good morning, freedom.
After finishing the camper, we hit the road. And we traveled. And traveled. And life started to flow smoothly again. Famous last words, am I right?